this story of, he buried two kids, which is unfortunate and everything else. And he was like an underdog that they wanted to see win. And I think Timothy Bradley is one of those people that just wanted to see him win. So when the fight started from round two on, he started ragging on my son, man. He started just pointing out everything negative about him, everything. You see, this is it. This is all he got. So I'm looking at like, wait a minute. How can you say this is all he's got when you don't even know him? You haven't even seen him work. You know what I mean? And I paid attention to it, and I noticed because I wanted to see at what point did he start. He started in the second round. I dissect shit. When I look at it, I don't just make up shit and go with it. He started in the second round, started ragging him. You know what I'm saying? This and that, whatever. He's saying, well, now he can't do this, he can't do that. Never point out anything good that he was doing. Never point out the fact that, okay, he's in there with a legitimate contender or a legitimate fighter that's an Olympian that has plenty of experience, that knows how to handle all types of guys. He's not pointing out anything negative about Quentin. He's not pointing out anything that about the way Quentin is making this fight ugly, holding it. I mean, he didn't point out everything, was just all negative about my son. So of course, when a fighter is doing bad, it's always the coach's fault.
Right.
It's never the fighter's fault. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's fine. That's fine and dandy. So I'm like, I had no clue. I had no clue this was going on. So I go on IG Live after, say a few things about something else, but I didn't know that Timothy Bradley had done dogged us out so bad. I had no clue that Timothy Bradley had dogged us out so bad that, the whole world, or the whole boxing world, was like at me. Didn't like me. I'm sorry. I need to get out the corner. I'm like, wait a minute. What I do? I'm calling instructions. It was crazy, man. So from that point on, we had that situation. That's in November. So he won a title, a minor title, a WBO international title. That's how he got ranked in the WBO.
What was the comment where Timothy Bradley commented on you that said that you didn't know what you was doing? What was it?
He dogged me, bro. He was like, oh, I got you. So the main thing was, how they listen in the corner to you?
Yeah.
You know how they listen? Okay. So me and my son, so me and my son studied. Just like I did Geo, and I told you, Mill City. I told you, and I heard you pick Geo. Didn't I tell you, Mill? Didn't I tell you? This is what I do. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I do. So anyway, just like I did Geo, I did the same. Y'all excuse my voice is shot because, of course, because of the fight. So what I did was I studied Quentin Roundle to a T. I understood him. I knew what he could do, what he couldn't do. I understood why he did not seem that good to me. I was wondering why is he beating this and why is he beating this guy? So I even went back and did the point. I'm gonna tell you what it said. I even went back and did the point to why he had guys fighting like they was fighting. I had them all figured out. So when I had them all figured out, I'm pointing all these things out to my son. I'm telling my son what he's going to do, this and that. So I give my son all of his instructions. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff I'm gonna say, because I said I wasn't gonna do it no more. You know what I mean? Because it's old news to me, but I have to do it for the narrative so you'll understand. So, but that was that fight. It's gonna be the last time I'm gonna do it. My son wasn't listening. He wasn't listening to me. You understand? My son, he wasn't following the show. He's young. He's young. It happens. So he wasn't following my instructions of what we had, of the plan that we already had in the camp. So he already knew the plans. So now, outside of that, my son is a very I don't know, if you paid attention in that fight, he showed he has footwork. He shows he can counterpunch. He showed he could power punch. He showed he could do a lot of things, which he has shown before. So I knew what he could, and I know his strengths and his weaknesses. So what I told him in the corner was, it's pretty much you're not listening to me. Get it done. I said you're gonna beat. This is what I said. You're gonna beat him anyway. Figure it out. I needed him to knock Quentin Roundle out clean. I need him to get clean shots in. You know what I'm saying? Quentin Roundle like to make the fights ugly. So what I told him to figure it out, oh my God, Timothy Bradley, you'd have thought I shot some damn body. Oh, figure it out. Oh, this guy don't know me. He just went out and told his son to figure. This is my child, man. This is a child that was in my nut sacks. You understand what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. We mean that boy talk so much it's retarded.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? He know what I need. He know what I expect. He know what I want him to do. And if you're not doing what I tell you to do, this is what I need you to do. Get it done. That's pretty much what I told him. Figure it out. Get it done.
Right.
You understand? So that really was, it really was, I got to tone it down. It really was father-son talk that was listened in on by some strangers that didn't know what the fuck they was listening to or what the hell they was talking about. So I guess they think I'm supposed to explain to them what I want him to do. You know what I mean? But I'm explaining to my son what I want him to do. I'm saying what I need to do to make my son activate. So from that moment on, it was said that I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't give him any instructions. I just told him to go out and figure it out. He said him and Bernardo was like he even got Bernardo in on it. He baited in Bernardo defense. He baited Bernardo in. He baited Bernardo in, and Bernardo even started at the end. He was like, it's pretty much to the point that if we win, then it's us. If we lose, then it's you. My son was nowhere near close. This is a 10-round fight that he won that he won unanimously. It wasn't even close. It was just a ugly, awkward fight. Zab, you're a long time pro. You know that happens. You sometimes you get there with people that just the matchups are not good matchups, such as not just for an example with Korean and Jerron Anderson. It just wasn't a good matchup with Shakur and what's that boy he just fought? We sparred him. Stadella Santo. It's just not a good matchup sometimes. You know what I mean? And that kind of shit happens in boxing. So for
make
Tim,
fights.
styles make fights. So for Tim to be such an experienced fighter that knows styles make fights, he was given so much criticism and no praise. Like I said, from round 2, he said damn near verbatim, because I watched it so many times. Look at him. I mean, if he doesn't have this, where else is he going? That's all he has. That's all he has. I'm like, what? Motherfucker. I felt so disrespected. It's to the point right now, because even the fight last night, if y'all peep game, I've been telling everybody, you can go back and look at the highlight. All you need is the highlight of the knockout. Look at the highlight of the knockout. He's still faking because he fake. I didn't want to talk to him in the fight of me. I don't want to talk to him because he fake as hell. He faked it to my son like he was on his side and like he was impressed with his last fight and blah blah blah. Him and the manager Jolene, no, Tim he's for him. No, he's really. I said, no, the fuck he not. So
who we talking about here? Are we talking about Tim Bradley?
We're still talking about Tim Bradley. This whole thing is about Tim Bradley.
Okay.
He come out when he come out to fight me, my son. Oh no, he cool, he understood, he cool. No, the fuck he don't, bro. Tell you how to prove it. You can go back. I'm gonna go to the end, to the nail in the coffin for me. When my son dropped him the first time and knocked him out. You can go to the highlights that you look at. Listen to what you hear. You hear Joe Tessitore lose his fucking mind, such as announcers supposed to do, as in shocked and surprised. And this is a very exciting moment. This is what we do. We rise up for the occasion of this. Listen to what you hear. You won't hear Tim say a peep. You won't hear him say a fucking peep. Then as it goes on. But in all of those highlights, you won't see him say a peep. But if you're watching it, then he'll start talking a little bit after. Because the motherfucker was down. He didn't want him to fucking win.
So wait a minute. So wait a minute. Do you guys know Tim Bradley? Do you have any priors with Tim Bradley?
You missed the first part of what I said to you. The first part of what I said to you was that Quentin Randall. It started with Quentin Randall. He wanted Quentin Randall to win.
Oh,
he wanted it started because he wanted Quentin Randall to win because of his life story. He just wanted him to make it. He knew Quentin Randall. You understand?
Okay.
That's where the shit started. After that, it just spilled over.
Got you.
It started with Quentin Randall. I've never seen that man. I mean, I don't know that man from a can of fucking paint. Of course, I know him from a can of paint because I know I'm a boxer and I know Tim Bradley. But you know what I mean. As far as personally, I didn't know him for a fucking can of paint. I don't want to know him. I'm not with that fake shit he doing. Now let me tell you what else he did last night. You take it, my son. If y'all saw it and you watched it, man, my son's working beautifully off the rope. True enough. Fighters make mistakes. Zab, you know that. Nobody is perfect. Fighters make mistakes. Shit happens. People get caught. Things, okay, cool. Things need to be worked on. That's fine. 22-year-old kid in his first world title fight handled it like I didn't even see his face that y'all saw if y'all watched it. I didn't realize how calm and cool he was because I couldn't see it from the corner where I was at. When I watched that shit on TV, man, that shit, I was fucking amazed. He was handling that shit like he was fucking 30 years old. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
The way he was handling that pressure, and the way he was rolling, and the way how comfortable he was with all of that, man. He did his thing. I'm even prouder than I was in the corner when I came back and watched it, and I couldn't believe that Tim and wasn't giving him more praise. Now let me tell you where he did. He's working off the rope. So he's working good. I work catching him off the rope. Santillan hit him with one uppercut in an exchange off the rope. My son has done caught him 4-5 times in a row. He hit him with one exchange. See, but that's the problem with Norman. He goes to sleep. He does good for 6 seconds, then he goes to sleep. You motherfucker, they're in a mix-up. You're in a fight. The fuck you think gonna happen? He didn't hit him 2 times. He hit him 1 time in the middle of that particular exchange. And he said, see, that's what happens with Norms. He has a tendency, it's like he goes away, like he goes into a mental lapse. It's like a mental, it's what he did from that fight. I skipped a fight that you don't know about, Zab. I'm finna go back to in a second. What he did from that fight and even last night, it's like a narrator. People say they don't listen to announcers. They say they don't listen to commentators, but it's bullshit. You cannot unhear what you heard. You cannot unsee what you saw. So you know how sometimes when you're watching something, somebody's telling you what you're looking at. If you are out of the box, you know what the fuck you're looking at. But sometimes if you don't, and if you don't really know about boxing, and you know you're just a casual fan, and he's telling you, oh yeah, nah, he's just a basic fighter. Look at what he's doing. He's just jabbing and shit. It could be a beautiful jab, but casual fan ain't gonna know what the fuck you're looking at. You get what I'm saying? But this narrator just narrated to you about what you saw. So now he just painted this picture in your mind of some negative, and you may be looking at something exactly that's totally opposite.
Right.
You know what I mean? So again, that's the pictures that he's been painting my son is just it's totally unfair. Like I'm looking at it like, damn, you never brought up the fact that he's only 20. This is at the time, even with Quentin. You never brought up the fact how young he is. You never brought the fact. He brought up the fact though. I mean, he's 20. He's 20. Not he never brought up his age. He said he's a 6-year pro. Like when is he gonna step it up? This was the last fight. When is he gonna step it up? He fought a guy named Boca Chica. Boca Chica was 17-2. What do you mean step it up? What the fuck do you want us to step it up to? You understand what I'm saying? He acts like he doesn't know how the business works. He acts like we're picking these people. We're not picking these people.
But you know what, Pops? In all due fact, I would tell you, man, don't even worry about what no person has to say about your performance and what you're doing, because what you guys went in and did the other night stands for itself. It over exceeds everything that Tim Bradley had to comment on and say, and you know anything he had to say negative, people that was watching, we seen a different outcome. So that didn't stick to the real ones. You know what I mean? And one thing I can tell you is going in boxing, you're gonna meet a lot of different people. Some gonna like you, some gonna not like you. You cannot really worry about that. If that, you know what I'm saying? Because once you get that in your head and you get to worry about who like me and who don't like me, now you're caught up with something else. All you guys got to do is keep going in there, performing like you guys performed the other night, and sky's the limit, brother. Trust me, they're gonna switch over. They're gonna switch over.
I know. Let me say this. Let me say, because I don't want to think I'm just like a simple-minded. I've been around boxing for 30 years. I've been around boxing for 30 years myself. And I was a professional fighter myself. I've been around boxing for 30 years. I wasn't worried about what that particular person think. I don't give a fuck. I'm worried about what that person is putting in the atmosphere for everybody else to hear.
Right.
And for everybody else to think. I didn't like he is the one in the position with the loudest microphone. So it was the fact that he's a ESPN, which is what my son fights on. And if you're telling his family, if his family's at home watching it, and you're telling his family how he's never fought anybody, like when they watching him on Instagram, or they watching these clips, or they watching these, our exciting moments when he won the national tournaments in the amateurs and shit, and you're telling his family that doesn't know anything about boxing, he's not a good boxer. He only looks his way because he fights subpar competition. That shit bothered me. You understand what I'm saying? He has the loudest microphone. So you have what's supposed to be a professional on TV telling people who don't know shit about shit, even our people who supported him all this time, that he ain't shit. So it's not that me worried about him. It's about the microphone he has. If he was on here saying this shit, I wouldn't, man, fuck him. I wouldn't give a flying fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
but he's on the actual network while the fights are going on, telling you.
Oh, trust me. You speaking to the choir, brother. I know all about people going against you. You over there. You got good company over there. You got one of my great best friends, Jolene, over there, and she'll tell you. Jolene will tell you everybody wasn't for Zab, but Zab didn't give a shit. He didn't give a shit about who was with. If you was with me, let's go. If you're not with me, get out my way. They know that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Joe will tell you we came up against a lot of that, man. And I don't care what people gotta say, man. Y'all keep performing the way y'all been performing, man, and watch. Sky's the limit. You know?
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we just had to make some adjustments. Again, just real quick, one fight that I left out. I mean, because again, I'm very transparent. Mill said that the more you talk to me, you'll see, you'll understand that I'm very transparent about the good and the bad, about everything. People so used to fake, they don't even understand when they're looking at a lie, when they're looking at the truth. I'm always tell you the truth. I ain't gonna never tell you a lie. Because anybody that tell you a lie, they're ashamed of something. I ain't ashamed of shit. So the fight I left out, my son got dropped his last fight. He had his left hand low. He came in or whatever. He was having a beautiful performance. This is not about. I'm just giving you an example. This is for the people not telling about nothing what nobody said. This is just what happened. So he was giving a beautiful boxing performance, I believe, and he was winning the first round or whatever else. But he had his left hand low, and the guy he was fighting, his name is Nelson Boca Chica. He had a good counter punch. His timing was pretty stellar. So he caught my son slipping, caught him with a good shot. He dropped him. My son wasn't hurt, got right back up. He went right back to doing what he doing. It never stepped back, never wavered, never buckled, never shook his leg, never did a stanky leg. You know how it is, Zach. Sometimes you go down and you get up. It just is what it is. And so anyway, but for that previous performance and them hearing that he ain't shit, then now the very next performance. So that was November. The next performance, which was in March. This ain't about Tim Bradley, but the next one is March. Now he gets dropped. So now again, that just adds on to the fuel of the boxing world, saying that he ain't shit. Now he ain't got a chin. He ain't. I'm like, bro. But they gave me a chance to make a lot of money. I didn't get to capitalize on all of it, man, because my son was a 4-1 underdog. I bet a good bit on it, but I was trying to motherfucking cash out on that bitch.
So I gotta say, I gotta give you a lot of praises because on my parlay, you were the one that messed up my money. So I gotta say,
I told you.
I gotta
I
say,
told you.
I
I
became
told you.
more of a fan, this weekend than anything else. And I didn't
Right.
really care about the money at that point in time.
Right.
I was happy for you guys.
Appreciate it.
I know I linked up with you guys in the past, so I said, you know what? Fuck this parlay. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, going back, your last performance, it was probably one of the more tougher ones. And this one right here was probably one of the better ones. I mean, in the resume, in my behalf. I mean, I've seen a lot of things. First of all, the dog that your son has is a lot more than what I actually thought, because he just completely outdogged a dog. And
Right.
that was impressive, but then the skills, the patience, the sharpness, the catch and shoot, the little
Man, it
angles.
was
I'm not
beautiful,
gonna say
man.
it's a lot of angles, because Giovanni Santillan, that's something for you guys to pick on when it comes to the angles.
Yeah.
But I also think he came in with a horrible game plan too. Just on the FYI.
Yeah, I wanted to tell people that, for the people who calling me a bad coach, I just outcoached one of the best coaches
You
out
out
today, Robert
you
Garcia.
out coach Robert Garcia, bro.
I just outcoached Robert
Robert
Garcia.
Garcia, yes.
I'm gonna give him that. Yo, he
Yeah,
definitely outcoached
yeah.
Robert Garcia.
Because even if what Bernardo said, I don't know if y'all paid attention because I watched it a few times, but even I paid attention to what he said. I think it was around 8 or 9, and it was like they asked him, because I guess they're not listening in the corners no more. They just saying what they want to say. He was like, I asked what Robert said that he wanted him to finish this round, get to the corner. Okay, it was round 8. Because he said, get to the corner, freshen him up, do something, and send him back out there at him for the last 3 rounds and push him to the ropes. You seen what was happening. He was weakening. He was getting beat up. He was, you know what I mean? You got to have different game plans. And that was just something also that I wanted people to understand about my son is is more to him than meets the eye. It's more to him than just one thing. He can. I'm glad he boxed a little. He could have made that clean, Mill. See, that's what I told you last time I seen you. I told you it was gonna be easy. It wasn't close. Do you think it was close?
Hell no, that
It
wasn't close.
Nah, it wasn't
wasn't close. It
close.
wasn't close. It wasn't close. But I envisioned and I wanted to, but we talked about it like couple days
You might
before,
have lost the
and
round
he made.
one. Maybe round one was lost. After that, it was just smooth
So
sailing. You broke him
so
down.
he broke him down. He broke him down. So my
Good
son could
boxing
have made it a little
technique.
more cleaner. He could have made it cleaner and just boxed the shit out of him and had him doing nothing. He really could have.
What,
He
what
didn't
what
want
were
to.
the adjustments going on though? Because you made certain adjustments with the pivots. And also, I wanted to point out the referee was warning your son a few times with the stiff arm, and I was like, damn, like he's not doing it that much. But I was like, damn, are they trying to take a point away or
Yeah,
something? But talk
man, they were
about
so
the
mad.
major adjustments in the middle rounds that it was just easy
All
for
right.
you guys.
So this is what we play. I don't really like to tell a lot, but I say it. It don't give a fuck because you got to learn it. You got to learn it and understand it. I can't just tell it to you. So anyway, what we talked about was you got. I call it the highway. I call it the highway. The highway is between me and you, right? So I tell him the first thing in the highway, got the first car in the highway. He got control. You got to go around me. You got to do something. You got to adjust to what I'm doing. So that's why his hands were out, both of them. So when he was like moving him and pivoting him, he was moving in Boca Chica. He was moving not Boca Chica. He was moving in Santillan around. He was like he'll push him this way, push him that way. He was like when he touched his head and hit him. He was doing that to throw him off. He was doing that. If you do that, you don't give that man a free range of shot. You understand what I'm saying? Even if he's a shorter puncher, you know what I mean? Because he don't have a free highway to go throw in. Like a lot of guys go out there. I never could stand the motherfucker go out there and look at the motherfucker face and just look at me. You just ask me to knock the shit out you. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, that's what it was. He started throwing. A lot of people thinks that my son doesn't get tired. Let me just put that out there. He runs 15 miles. Sometimes he runs 10 miles. I think the minimum he usually runs is 7. I have to make him run 3 sometimes when he get close to the fight or whatever else. I tell him, man, just do 3. God, do something simple. God,
Yes, sir.
he
Simple.
always overdoing everything. Now, seriously, he always overdoing everything. That he works like he don't work. Of course, he just box. He don't have no kids. He don't. You know what I'm saying? All he does, he stays alone. He's a loner. His life is boxing. He don't go out. He don't drink. He don't smoke. He don't hang out. You know what I'm saying? He got friends that he taught to play with. Might go out and have a sip or two every blue moon with or whatever. But that's not his thing. That's not like who he is. Boxing is his life. He's been boxing all his life, and that's just you know what I mean. Through what I done told him and taught him or whatever the case may be. That's all he know. And I always told him because of me, my life is fucking is havoc full of bullshit that don't even make sense. So I tell him, look around, man. This shit is like it's nothing. You know what I mean? No matter what you have, this shit is nothing. Like I'm sure you can contest to that, Zav. Sometimes you put shit in your life that you don't even fucking need. You know what I'm saying? It's just unnecessary headaches that you put in your life. So I tell him, just make sure, even with the kids and the girlfriends and shit, just make sure it's something that adds on to your
Yeah.
life and not just some unnecessary bullshit. You know what I mean? And thank God on that note, he listened to me, and that's really how he carries himself right now. And so far, so good at 23 years old. He keeping it in the road, and he's now a world champion by doing just that. Like he eats healthy, he does everything the right way. You know what I mean? So he ain't really got no problems. Now let me go back to what I was saying about the adjustments in the fifth. Now, again, people were saying he was like he was starting to get winded in the fifth and in the sixth and in the second win. He didn't catch the second win. What happened was he came back to the corner. He went back to this style. If you watch his last 5 minutes, he got this style that he does where he tries to be. He's pretty fast. If you ain't pay attention, he has a style that he does where he just throws fast shots, trying to be extra fast, super fast. I tell him, look, I don't even want you. I want you slow as possible because his slow is still fast. So I tell him I want you slow as possible. I don't want you giving no throwaway punch. I want every fucking punch that you throw. I want that son bitch to mean something, especially with Santillan because he right there in your face. It's not like you trying to walk him down. It's not like you trying to walk him down or catch him. You got a man right in your face. You know what I mean? So all of these punches need to stick. He need to feel everything. Like you said, you broke him down.
Yeah,
I
and
need
he
him to
wants to
feel
trade
every
with
snap.
you. He's that fight that he wants. He wants to trade with you. So that tapping is not going to work.
Absolutely. Now, what he did not know, because again, this is about what Tim Bradley said. Fuck him on the negative thing, but what he said was, and I guess he didn't know my son is just the same. He was like, what Norman doesn't know is Santillan can keep his pace all night. Well, motherfucker, what you don't know is my son can keep his pace all night and tomorrow too. You know what I mean? But that's what he said. He was like, he don't know Santillan keep his pace all night. My son did not stop. He did not stop. He kept the pace. He kept the pace. Round 9. So like I say, he was moving him. He had it messed up. Santillan and Robert Garcia. There ain't no hate to him, but he told him to go get him. You can't just tell him to go get him. You got to have some type of skill with it. So he told me go get him. You don't tell him to go get him, and he already getting fucked up. That's kind of hard to do. It's like you gonna turn like, damn, what the hell? Go get him with what? Give me a fucking gun, a knife, give me something. You know what I'm saying? I can't just go fucking get him. So you gotta have more than one game plan. You know what I mean? So again, that's why I said I outcoached Robert Garcia, because he had no game plan. If the game plan was to push him back to the ropes, he was already doing that earlier when he was fresher, and that was not working because my son was doing better. Well, I think my son was doing better than him off the ropes. Do you agree?
Yeah.
When he pushed him to the ropes,
I
he
agree.
was getting the best of him.
Agree.
So he was getting the best of him. So why would you tell him to push him back to the ropes when he was fresher? He was already getting beat up on the inside ropes. So now he's gonna be even worse. You got a broken nose, and you can't send him there. You got to have some other type of game plan. You can't just have a one-dimensional fighter, which is what my son has been called, a one-dimensional fighter. I'm still trying to figure out what dimension that he is.
Well, no, you definitely showed that you're in a different caliber instead of saying that
Right.
for sure. Now talk about the cut situation. I mean, I see that. Is this the first time you hired Stitch? Because I'm
Every
like, damn, next.
time. Every
Oh,
time.
perfect
Well, this is
move
the
and
first time
investment.
Stitch had to work, though, right?
No. Last fight he got
That's right.
elbow. He got, oh man, Zab, you gotta see the last fight, man. You saw Mill, then you see it, Mill.
It was
Man, see
good.
Mill. Hey, Zab, the last fight, which is another thing, let me say about about him getting dropped. That's the whole point about him getting dropped too, and about everybody giving him so much criticism. He got dropped by one shot, got up, never wavered, never faltered, went on to
He
keep
did
winning again.
better.
He did better. Then the guy he was fighting who had just dropped him shot a elbow and elbowed him in the eye. No point taken, no deductions, no disqualifications. They caught it on camera. They replayed it on the screen. Nothing happened.
Adversity.
Nothing happened.
Adversity.
And he took away, right? Right.
Yeah,
He took
I'm
away.
happy. I'm very happy. Very happy.
Yeah. So that's what I said. So in that fight, I was not critical at all. I was critical at first only because I was so gung ho on him getting a good performance, and we was getting so much flack about that performance. But I looked at that performance like, damn, but you did pretty fucking good. So, but the only thing he didn't do was show what he showed last night, and he's a very dominant force. And people were starting to say that he didn't have power, and the reason he had 19 knockouts because he fought 19 ducks and blah 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 blah. But that's not the truth. He got serious power. He
Crazy.
got serious power. He just got to put balls to the wall. That's all. He got serious power, and I think looking at that power and looking at Zab, I know you know the delivery of punches. You saw the way he was delivering those punches. I know you know that, right?
Very sharp and very clean. Yep.
The way he was delivering those punches were fucking proper as hell. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the shit that do damage. So for any fighter or any real fight fan that knows what they're looking at, they know he got serious power now. You know what I mean? So I also believe that about that performance situation I was telling you about. I believe that that's the reason that not just Santillan, because I think he's a warrior and I think he will fight anybody. I think that's why Split T or his management team were even accepted the fight. I think it was that they listened to that narration. That's why I think it was really just God's plan, even from back when me being pissed off, and I think it was all they just think he was a hyped up ass fighter. He was a hyped up fighter, a nothing hyped up fighter, and we can take him out. And they made a mistake. They made a big mistake. They gave a 23-year-old hungry fighter his chance at greatness, and he went above. He went above, and he achieved it, man.
Yeah,
Capitalized. Yep.
Capitalized, right?
because if you lost, they would have dumped you.
Well, about that, everybody keeps saying that. That may not be true. May not
Why?
be true
Yeah.
because
Yeah. There was some They were some pretty solid people right there.
Right.
You got my girl Jolene over there,
Yeah.
so I know you with some solid people.
Yeah. No. Not Jolene dropping us. She's talking about top. He's talking about Top Rank dropping
Rank.
us. Zach.
Oh, Top Rank.
Yeah.
Got you.
No.
Oh
Jolene.
yeah,
Them
and
definitely. Yeah. Jolene. Them. No. I'm not finna tell you. People were saying that, but of course, that's what you would think. Just like you think about what Brandon Moore and Torres. Is that what you believe about that too?
Good point.
So, but people would think again that narration that you heard about us being. They like the Quentin Rounder fight.
Yeah.
Just so yeah. Just no. Top Rank liked the Quentin Rounder fight. They liked it. The people didn't because of Tim Bradley. The Top Rank people liked the Quentin Rounder fight. The Boca Chica fight, they was trying to help us get it back. They thought it was gonna be a good fight. They didn't. They weren't. They've been around for a long time. They wasn't buying into what the boxing public was saying. So being that the word was out about the this and that terrible in this fight and he got dropped in this fight, it was clear, it was easy, not clear, it was easier for the boxing world to think, oh yeah, now they're serving them up. Not the case. It wasn't the case. But Giovanni had we had already called for Giovanni and he had a fight fall out. And they was just like, look, you want to take this opportunity? Brad told Jolene, listen, they liked it. They liked my son. They were like, listen, don't take this opportunity if you're not 100%. Don't take this opportunity if you're not sure. If you're not sure, don't take it. Nobody forced us to take anything. They gave us an opportunity. It was not serving us up. That's what there was no reason for me to go say anything to anybody because nobody was going to believe it. Just like when I told you that I was going to beat him. Nobody believes what I say anyway. So nobody believes it till it comes to fruition. So, but no, I don't think they were going to drop us.
I did say it was going to be a good fight. A
Yeah,
hell of a fight.
it was a
Right?
fucking.
I
Hey, and
said
you know
that
that
the
was Gotti
fight was going to
Ward.
be better than the main event, and it was, wasn't it?
That was Gotti Ward anniversary. That was Gotti Ward
Oh
anniversary.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Whoa.
that's Gotti Ward
Wow.
anniversary.
Phenomenal fight.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you got to
Thank
have
you,
one of
man.
those type of fights like that on that day, for
I
sure.
love it, man. I watched it a few times. I love it. I love it. And that was another thing that made me change my son's style. Again, I know Zad was your first time seeing him, right?
Yeah, first time. Yep.
All right, so that was Zad's first time seeing. I'm glad you saw it on a good note and not a bad note.
No, I like
But
him. I
my
like
man,
him.
yeah, I
Yeah.
said I'm glad. No, I said I'm glad you saw it on a good note and not a bad note. All right, so with the other ones, I had to realize what was going on. In it, my son had before this fight, he only had 4 fights on TV. He had 4 fights on TV. And I went to looking at him. I never liked to watch his fights on TV, but I love to watch his sparring sessions. I watch his sparring sessions a million times. And I look at what we need to work on and what we need to do. When the ones that he had on TV, they was almost, to me, cringe worthy because I know he got a lot more than what he doing. So I always just didn't like to watch him. So before this fight that happened Saturday night, there were 4 fights on TV. I never liked to watch any of them. So then I said, this doesn't make sense. I can watch Quentin Rounder boring ass, all his fights. I watched Gio, all of his fights so many times. I fell asleep on these people, both of them. I fell asleep watching them. Like I had, no, I'm serious. I'm so serious. I had them in my dreams. I fell asleep watching both of them. I had to see their strengths and weaknesses. What are they doing about this? What are they doing? Because a leopard don't change his stripes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you are who you are, and it's gonna be certain characteristics that you cannot get away from. You know what I mean? So anyway, I was wondering why I don't like watching my boy fights. So I went back and I made myself watch them, and I figured out why I don't like watching them. It's because of what I just told you. That bullshit he be throwing. That shit is not exciting. So I'm a bias and I'm supposed to be biased. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn. If I don't even want to watch the shit, how the fuck do I expect the public to want to watch that shit? So two
I've
days
been there.
before, 2 days, you say you're right.
That's
That
right.
you can't
I've been there.
that you
Yeah, I
can't watch
know.
your own fight.
Yeah, you got to
Right,
be
right, right.
your worst critic. Yeah.
So 2 days before, my son has this one fight. Guy name was Angelo Snow. My son was just coming up. Angelo Snow was 7-2. He was his first real test outside of Mexico. Because he had fought a lot of fights in Mexico. So Angelo's 72, had a pretty good amateur background. Did a few things in the amateurs or whatever the case may be. So he was the toughest. Whatever. My son beat his ass. Not worse. Halfway what he did to Gio, but it was pretty bad though. He knocked him out the ropes. I mean, he beat him bad. So, and that was my favorite fight to watch. So I said, well, shit, that's what it is. It's the style that he fighting with. You know what I mean? So, and that's what I was saying. That's what we changed. And 2 days before we went back with that style and said we just got to show him the power. We got to show him that he got that power. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did, man. He showed it, and he silenced a lot of people that. Okay, now those 20 knockouts now are real knockouts. Those 20 knockouts came from a kid that has real power, and he always have had real power, man. So it was just a blessing that it happened like it was supposed to happen, man. And it was just like a masterpiece coming together, man. Possibly knockout of the year, because I mean the way his body went limp, man, that was crazy.
Before you go, right quick, give me one of the because I see that you like a sharp, detailed person when it comes to fighters and fighters. So right. What is some of the strategies of things you look for on opponents when you watching, like let's just say your son was to fight a guy next. What are some of the things you look for, strengths that you look for in the other guy to make your son, make sure that your son is good?
Well, that's always the hardest thing because you can't ask me what I look for. I have to look at it to see what I see. So I can't look at it to look for something in particular. I have to, of course. Well, no, you know what? I do got it. Does he have feet? How's his feet? How's his foot movement? Like Gio. Gio had zero. I told you, Gio didn't have feet. Gio didn't have feet. Gio couldn't pivot. The way my son could have made it the easiest night in the world. He can't pivot for shit. But guess what? My son didn't even have to make him pivot. He beat him right in front of him. He stood right in front of him, off to the side a little bit, and just beat him up. I look for the, like I said, the pivot. Can he move his feet? If you go right, left, Gio, in Gio case, he can't punch when you're on the move. That's why my son was on the move, and that's why it was such a good fight. He didn't want to move. He wanted to stand right there and fight with him. I want to see, can that person punch me on the move? Zab, how some people counter punch and some people wait for you to stop punching, right? I know you've seen that before, right? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. So you got the people that'll punch with you, some people that'll punch after you, and some people just wait till you stop, and then they'll start punching because they're scared to get hit. You know what I mean? So I wait for things of that nature. I watch how flinchy they are, like for me, with certain styles, with a wiry fighter, you feint him a lot. A wiry fighter, a fighter that's looking to counter, looking to be wiry and looking to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to feint him. You got to feint him, move. You never let him know where you're going to be at. You got to catch angles on him, you know what I'm saying? Right. I just look at what type of fighter that he is to see how we're going to address it. If he's a speed fighter, he throws a lot of combinations. As soon as he throws a combination, bust him in the chest, shoot straight down the middle. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? You get one good throw down the middle, it's over with.
That's some old school moves right there. That's the old school moves.
They don't, man, look. But I was told I'm not a good fucking coach. I need to sit out in the corner. I know I've been around this shit for 30 years, man. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, I raised my kids while I was a professional fighter working a full-time job. I was a single father raising 4 kids. You know what I mean? Okay. So, my career didn't go like I wanted it to, but I always thought the only thing I ever failed at in life was boxing. But hell, here it is today. I didn't fail at boxing because now I got my son doing the shit. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. You never lose. It's never a loss. That's what I learned. It's only experience.
It wasn't for me. Yeah, that particular situation wasn't for me. It's for my boy, and I'm good with that because I don't want no pause of what he finna go through. I'm that fighting shit is over with for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I remember it. I remember it vividly. Do you miss it sometime?
Oh no, I mean, you know what? I still love it. I mean, me, I'm a person. I just love fighting. Period. So I love all forms of fighting, and I do miss it sometimes. But
I love it. I love it too.
Wait, hold on. I don't miss a real fight and preparing for it. No, I don't. I don't miss that shit. Hell no.
That shit is not. No, that's exactly. That's how I feel.
That shit is no joke. It's tough. It's hard.
Don't miss it.
Don't miss that.
Don't miss it. Don't miss that shit at
Nah.
all. You just want to chill, relax. That's just a lot of pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure on you,
Lot
man.
of
It's a lot of
pressure. Yeah,
that's a
it's not for
lot, man. So
everybody.
I
It's not for
no
everybody.
sir.
It's not for everybody.
No, sir. All that shit is only for the strong, man. That shit is
Right.
only for the strong. So that's what I'm saying. I don't miss that again. It's for my son. I literally, this is what I always tell people. It may sound crazy. I literally brainwash my son to think the way I need, but it's all positive. I literally brainwash him in certain ways to think, to think the way I need him to think, to do what he wants to do. So I found out what he want to do, and I'm gonna brainwash him in certain ways, and that's what he does. You know what I'm saying? Because I called him early and doing it. I literally raised him from the start. So everything he does is really just bred into him. You know what I'm saying? He been fighting since he was 7 years old. So everything he does is just bred into him. So like I said, it wasn't for me, it's for him. And I could just sit back and use my knowledge and use my experience of watching fighters and watching, what do at the same time with using what I've experienced in the ring, such as Mill, when you seen him go down that in that fight, and I told you about him closing his eyes, I told you what that was. That was him. I told him because that's what happened to me. It happened to me. I ran into a shot, man, and man, that's the worst shit in the world. When you the first shot you run into that when you thought you was invincible, man, that shit changed your life a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
that
Hell
shit,
yeah.
that shit.
Thank God he didn't hit me with another one of those.
Right. That shit damn near changed your life. So me already experiencing that, I told him I remember the worst thing that I did was got up, jumped up in the crowd. We was in a civic center. And the crowd, it was like a up thing. The crowd was like, it was so fucking loud, man. You know what I'm saying? It was going crazy. And that shit was like a whole nother situation going on in my head, and it fucked me up. So I always told my son, look, you end up with grown men. You got a temper. You got, you can always get hit in the wrong place. If it ever happens, do not try to act like you're not. Relaxed. Chill the fuck out. Take all the time that you can from the very start. And Mia, that's when you seen him close his eyes. Man, I was down there damn near smiling. He on the ground, and I'm down there damn near smiling because I know what he doing. I knew what he was doing. He caught him with a good shot. He went down, my son. He closed his eyes immediately. He closed his eyes immediately. He goddamn slow. He slowly got the fuck up. He walked slowly to the ropes. He put his back to the ropes. I told him, breathe. That motherfucker, I said, God damn it, he listened to everything I said. That was just a brainwashing because I told him so much. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my only. I try to envision what could happen. I try to envision what could go wrong. And as far as boxing abilities, I don't see nobody fucking with him. As far as boxing abilities,
I think
as
I
far as
think this psychological thing that you onto right now, you might be onto something. Because I remember in an interview listening to Mike Tyson say that custom model brainwashed him and got in his mind and psychologically, and he said he was always programmed to destroy
yes,
and destruct and to go forward and to break up
yes,
and to use his speed. And he always remembered that in a time of need. So I think
yes,
that you might be on to something good here, man. You might be
real
because you
shit.
know what? I'm not gonna lie. I had my dad as my trainer. My dad was a hell of a trainer. He knew his shit. The only thing we never worked on was how to get up after you get knocked down. We never
Right,
worked on that because as you guys remember in my Casa Zoo fight,
right,
that was the first time I ever went down like that, and
right,
there was no class for that. There was
right.
no
No,
take your time,
it
relax, take a
and
knee.
I was you.